Good afternoon, freelancers. Welcome to another Anthem video. I'm PTT, and today we're going to be talking about a crazy amount of new information surrounding Anthem, its future, the recent 6GB patch, and oh so much more. So for those of you who don't know, the dev team dropped a live stream last night, and with that came so much information that I just physically can't put it all into one video, or we would be here for like 2 hours. To that end, I will link the full patch notes in the video description, but I will cover a few of the ones that I feel are more noteworthy later in the video. To start off though, I want to start with the new information about content, future patches, and the feedback from the community that is having a direct impact on changing the game. I want to start off with something that I've been asking for since the demo now, and that is the introduction of a stat screen. Now, with any looter style game, a stat screen is absolutely crucial when min-maxing a build and understanding all of the various inscriptions and percentages in game. Now, how Anthem launched without something like this in the first place is kind of mind-blowing, but the dev team did say yesterday that this is something that is being worked on currently and should be rolled out fairly soon, so yeah. Look, I'm happy to hear this news, and when it does finally drop, I can then start to break down the game stats and how they affect certain things, because right now, it is a lot of guesswork, and to be honest, I'm still not sure exactly what a 35% increase to X stat actually is, because we don't know the base value, so I have no idea if it's actually worth it over, say, a 20% increase to a different base stat that could have a higher base value. Overall, this is a very welcome upcoming feature and will be a very handy thing when chasing those God-rolled components for the likes of Grandmaster 2 and 3. Next then, let's talk about loot, more specifically Stronghold specific vanity items that are going to be introduced to the game in the near future. The dev team said last night that they have heard the community feedback for more loot, more vanity items and activity based sets, and are working on this exact thing right now. Some examples of this I will now show off in the background footage. They went on to mention that they will be introducing over 100 vanity items, from vinyls to emotes and even full gear sets that will be tied to the strongholds. These items will be obtainable on a daily basis and will come from a vanity chest at the end of the stronghold. More specifically, 4 chests that can be opened at the end of the stronghold. The catch is that you will need a key to open said chest, and these will be tied to daily challenges, and a maximum of 1 key can be earned per day. Now, it is worth noting that if you are in a team, then a different teammate can actually open each of the different chests, and all members of the team will get the loot from each chest. So, running with a team of 4 with 4 keys will net you all of the available loot every single day. Now, I really like this idea. It gives you something to do daily that rewards you. It gives you a goal to collect everything that is up for grabs, and like some of the other changes, just goes to show that the team are actually listening to the community, and over time, Anthem's full potential will indeed surface and will be a game that we all want to sink a hell of a lot of time into. Moving on then, let's talk about more way of life changes that have come directly from community feedback and the future introduction of legendary daily story missions. Now, these again won't be released now, but instead in the near future, and will basically try to do 2 things. 1, allow you to replay the critical path missions, and 2, give you something else to do at endgame. The aim of the legendary missions is to have them fall just under strongholds in terms of difficulty, and will, as like all other activities, have an easy, normal, hard and grandmaster difficulty selection for you to really push yourself and your build if you wish to. Now again, this just goes to show how the dev team are listening to the community, and I'm happy this is becoming a thing later down the line. Now personally, I am hoping that they actually use these activities to also increase the reward system, and maybe have like a weekly mission that will guarantee a masterwork reward on, say, Grandmaster 1 and a legendary if completed on Grandmaster 2, but that is something we will have to wait and see. One thing that I think is missing from the game right now is a guaranteed way to earn a few pieces of high rarity loot each week, aside from crafting like we see in other games. The Division has legendary missions that reward exotic caches, Destiny has nightfalls and various other activities that guarantee a high power reward drop X amount of times a week, and I think that Anthem could really use a system like this going forward and allow players a guaranteed way to get something powerful every single week. I mean, you may still end up scrapping that bit of gear because it has a bad roll on it, but at least you're getting something guaranteed that is high power at least once a week. Now then, let's talk about in-game communication. I think we all know that the in-game comms is a bit shit in Anthem at the moment. No text chat, no ping system, and if you're not using a mic, then it does make the game very difficult. Well, again, the dev team have acknowledged this bit of feedback and mentioned that they like a ping system similar to Apex Legends, and have even actually started talks with Respawn on using the same system inside of Anthem. Now, personally, I think this is brilliant. The ping system in Apex is amazing and allows for very clear and precise communication between players that aren't using voice comms. I think if this exact system, or one extremely close, makes it into Anthem, then the matchmaking will go from a very sketchy experience to one that possibly will become very good and viable for solo players. Now, I'm not holding my breath yet on the matchmaking becoming good without a lot of other changes, but a ping system or in-game text chat will be a very good start. Now, finally, on the new information front, a little kind of tease from the devs. They said that within the next week they should be releasing a 90-day plan for Anthem, outlining all of the changes and new bits that will be coming over the next 3 months. Now, this is good to hear. I can't wait to see what's on it, and of course I will update you guys when it is released and break down all of its content. But until that time, let's just move on. I now want to cover some of the more noteworthy patch notes from last night's 6GB update, as I mentioned earlier. I can't cover all of them because it was a very extensive list, but there is a link in the video description if you wish to check it out for yourself. Up first then, let's talk load screens. I think we all know from the demo that load screens in Anthem are a total pain in the ass. They're too long, and in my opinion there are just far too many of them. Well, some progress has been made on this front, as the team have worked on the load screen's performance and have said that they should now be a lot quicker, especially when entering caves and whatnot out in free play. But also for gamers who have the game installed on a standard hard drive instead of an SSD. Now, how good this change will actually be, we will have to wait and see, but at least they have not acknowledged the problem and are working on a fix. Now, to quickly list some of the other high-level fixes then, we have fixed many infinite load screens, fixed multiple challenges not tracking properly, a number of issues have been fixed that were causing players to disconnect or crash, weapons and gear now have numbers present for modifiers. Now, you may think that these are not exactly big changes, but trust me, they actually are, and I'm happy they have been made so quickly. Now, there are a ton of general fixes and improvements and way of life changes also in this patch. To name a few of the big ones, some enemies have had their shield values decreased, loot now properly drops for players who are downed, addressed a variety of situations where killing enemies do not properly progress world events, opening a chest now increments Tomb of Legionnaire progress for all squad members present, picking up ammo from the ground now properly gives you 30% of that ammo back into both the current magazine and the maximum spare ammo, and fixed a bug where some global javelin icon inscription bonuses were not being properly applied to the javelin and other gear / weapons. Now, there are also a fair few stronghold fixes, challenge fixes, and major tuning fixes to gear and weapons, but as I said, the list is incredibly long, so if you do want to check them out, guys, head on over to the link in the description and take a peek. Anyway, that is about going to do it for the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, leave a cheeky thumbs up. Let me know any thoughts you have in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Have a great day, and until the next one, I'll catch you all soon.